Welcome back to another episode of Sound Pals Go to the Movies. Today I will be reviewing the movie Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. So just fair warning, there's going to be spoilers up ahead, so you've been warned. Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne, along with Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne, explore the quantum realm where they interact with strange creatures and embark on an adventure that goes beyond the limits of what they thought was possible. So let's begin with my first pro. We finally get to see what is inside the quantum realm versus being told by other characters. This opens up more doors for the Marvel Universe to expand their stories into. But which path will they take? Will they introduce more villains or just use it as a secret weapon when they are in the middle of a big battle? This goes for the whole adventure team, not individual character movies, but when they are faced with a big villain at the end and have to come together. Will we see this realm be explored by others, not just Ant-Man? Could we see another Avenger explore this realm? These are questions that are still up in the air, along how the quantum realm exists outside of time, just like Janet told the others. But the good thing is that we finally get to see the actual quantum realm, which looks pretty good. It's on the fantasy kind of side, so it looks pretty good for some adventures. I would say series, not a movie down the line. Next point is we get to see Cassie put on a suit. Yes, it's more like Scott's suit and Hope's Wasp suit. This can actually mean that we might get to see a series of her using the suit and learning how to use it and actually fight. Maybe this can be the start of sort of a Young Avengers version where she is the lead and starts recruiting other members, such as from the Disney Plus series. I really enjoyed that the only reason she had the suit on was for her protection and had no training in combat. The little bit of between her and Scott when he's telling her about jumping with momentum to hit as she got bigger was the scene that got the message through. She was not trained in combat, she was just trained in evading situations where she was not supposed to be. Next point, I really enjoyed the way they included keywords like incursion and the multiverse, since we have heard these keywords in the series Loki, Doctor Strange, and the Multiverse of Madness movie, and Spider-Man. This again is getting us ready and used to the words and what they mean. Like for example, incursion is when two timelines are coming together and they will end both timelines. Think of it as two worlds colliding. We saw this in the Loki where he said there were incursions happening and these two lines would not exist, so they're getting wiped out. As for the multiverse, that is where there is more than one timeline. So for those who did not see the other series or for those who did not get what they were talking about, you have to go and catch up, since this is where everything is leading up towards the big team up in a few movies, so you better get ready. And with that, I move on to my cons. One of the biggest cons was that Janet kept refusing to tell everybody what she had seen that lived in the quantum realm during her stay there or being trapped there. She never told them about Kryler, played by Bill Murray, or Kang the Conqueror. This was and is very important for her to just keep ignoring. And still, when they were already in the realm, she still refused to elaborate what was going on or what she knew. I really hated the way they were leading us along with the stick and carrot method. I also began to hate the character Janet because she was not being transparent with the team, but Hank just kept going like, okay, you did your thing, I did my thing, let's just keep going along with Janet's story. I would have told her, you tell us and tell us everything right now before things get worse, because face it, they were in a situation where things could have gotten really bad really fast. Next con is sort of connected to the previous con, and that is really elaborating about the new characters introduced and the realm. We got thrown into the realm, which kind of gave me a Star Wars aesthetic vibe, especially with the buildings and the cannons inside the buildings, along with the big battle at the end, how Kang's soldiers were like stormtroopers with no identity. Also, the scenes where they're in the restaurant, that gave me a really familiar Cantina Star Wars vibe, and fans will see that too. But what was even worse was Marvel introducing MODOK, and it wasn't even close to the comic version. First, it was a different character altogether, but that could have been just because it's a different timeline, they could play off of that. But still, the origin, how he shrunk but the head was the only thing that got left big and his powers were so underplayed, that really bugged me. The real reason he has a big head is because he opted to have a bigger brain and reduce his body, therefore being the smartest, therefore the big head and small limbs. On top of that, his intelligence is so great that could outmatch any smartest person on earth because he can see endless possibilities. Think of Doctor Strange when he's seen the endless possibilities for Thanos. Yet in the film, he is a comical character that is sort of the sidekick of the Conqueror. Also, the lack of elaborating on Conqueror and Kryler, or even the raging war that is being fought in the quantum realm since Janet got rescued. And what about the Conqueror's plan to escape and then eventually kill all the timelines, including the one that we know as the main Marvel timeline? No one touched upon this and no one cared. And to me, I feel that this was really important for Janet to talk about or elaborate and for us to get in on what was happening because we're just there for the ride. Next con, I think it's one of the big big ones that Ant-Man fans would have, and they would agree with me, was that there was no Lewis. Even if the director says that there was no space or time for him in the film, then why not add him in the post-credit scenes? Maybe him doing a book signing with his own version of his book, retelling things from his own point of view. Maybe the title of the book be Lewis Tells It How It Was, or something along those lines. That is something that fans would just basically laugh at and say, hey, that was worth it. And for the idea that there was no space in the film, I call BS. He could have been easily introduced in the film by being at the dinner with the family before they got sucked into the realm, and then somehow just got lost, just how the ants went their own way, and for him to later rejoin the team at the end before the ending battle, and then at the end, in the post-credit scenes, for him retelling his little adventure that he had while everybody else was fighting. So my grade for this movie is going to be a 6.5 out of 10. Not the best Marvel movie, since it threw characters in and did not explain them correctly or what they meant for the future movies. Also, no Lewis was a big con on my end, and for some fans they would agree. And also, Janet not telling what she really feared about the realm was a bad move, or at least have Hank be on her side saying, yeah, she told me and we were actually working together on countermeasures to slow this guy down, but it's no use. Overall, I did not enjoy this movie as much. I guess I just watched it to be in the loop for the following movies. I would say skip it. As long as you've seen the Loki series, you have an idea of what Kang the Conqueror is or stands for. So that does it for this review of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Please join us next time where we're going to review Creed 3.
I know what you're doing, Donnie. You don't owe this dude nothing. Damien's fighting the world and he's trying to hurt people.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. You can find our social media links below. And like always, keep watching movies.